everyone. I'm here with my good friend Sebastian from Zignify. Welcome, Sebastian. How are you today?
Hey, Marcel. Thank you so much for having me. Fantastic. I probably make a lot of you jealous when I say we just got back from a workation, a week on the Maldives with 14 or so of our ladies. So back to the office. I don't know if I feel good or bad, but it's very good so far. Thanks.
That was more than a workation or working and vacation mix. It was actually Sebastian's birthday. So happy birthday here.
Oh! Thank you so much as well.
I remember. Yeah. So
very true. Thanks much.
I hope you had an amazing time there with everyone in the team and the Maldives.
Yeah.
It's bad.
There was even a bigger surprise, which I didn't expect, and it was actually my parents. Literally, they joined. So both my better half, Julia, as well as my team, they all knew that my parents. It's sometimes it's quite difficult to get your parents to do something, and they were flying with us, joining there. I don't know when was the last vacation with my parents together. Probably when I was like that tall. So it was fantastic. It was lovely to have all the ladies around. The family around, Julia around, all the people you love and work with. So it was great. I don't know how they're gonna top it next year.
Well, they certainly raised the bar on that one. So
Yep.
We'll be seeing next year whatever's happening. Yeah. But
maybe you guys should join as well, and we have a big vacation with a lot of good people in the world out there. I mean, I guess you are some of those.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, I'm open for traveling and especially working and having fun because with our line of work, this is the amazing part. We can work from anywhere in the world. We're also selling on Amazon. We're also service providers, and we can also travel. Why not?
If I may give one of the hints, it's maybe really off topic here right now, but whoever is listening in there, guys, we've had a world travel while building a business, and Julia back then even being full-time employed. Whoa. We've used to live in China and Singapore, and at the end of it, we actually went 9 months on backpack travel through Southeast Asia. I've started building the first Amazon business. Julia was full-time employed, and then once we came back, we hit it even a little bit higher. We took our motorcycle in Singapore and we drove home to Germany. We moved on a motorcycle, 242 days.
Whoa.
Everywhere better internet than in Germany. You can work in the Mongolian desert at the heaviest storm with 4G internet next to camels, cows, and whatever herds you have there. If you have the dream of saying you want to do a remote life, you want to build a remote business, you want to go and travel, guys, there's internet everywhere in the world. And even if not, there by now is, obviously Starlink, right? Yeah. So don't ever use the excuse to say, oh, later. Or, oh, no, you cannot. Yes, you can do it. Believe me, even if you're full-time employed in another company, if they allow remote work. It's a lifetime experience. I'd love to go again. So don't ever make this an excuse not to live up to your dreams, okay?
That's a great story. Actually, I didn't know that one, Sebastian. Congrats on that. So really nice.
I'm a bit sad. It's 6 years ago since we've arrived, so we should go again.
The good times. Well, yeah, that's certainly something you can do. You've done it then, and you can do it now because you've made it that way, so everything can happen remotely. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about Zignify. I'm sure everyone knows Zignify, but nevertheless, in terms of global product sourcing and like the countries, the people can source. Most of the people sourcing in China, but there are options out there. So it's important for everyone to start with that. Let's say,
the target for me would be not to give a self pitch here today. I'll try to make it as short as possible, but I think we've prepared something else for really bringing some value that you hopefully can increase your profit margin a lot. But what we do is literally global product sourcing. So yes, of course, China, but also I usually say all of the other countries, but Afghanistan, North Korea, and the moment also not Russia. But besides that, we're, of course, in all of those countries. We're locally, remotely there where the main production happens. We do find manufacturers for first-timers, but I think the biggest thing that you can really do is optimize your purchasing cost for your best sellers. So whether it's China or outside of China, whether you have anti-dumping tariffs, whether you need cheaper producers in the same country or with the same supplier, better prices and conditions, and or find them in other countries to reduce your shipping cost, to reduce the purchasing cost, to reduce anti-dumping tariffs against Chinese goods or other countries. That's what we do. Find manufacturers, as many as reasonably possible, negotiate the prices, and reduce the purchasing cost. By now, it's been
brilliant.
more than 4,000, I think maybe soon close to 5,000 products. But we've hit more than $500 million in savings for our clients, not in production costs. Those are literally the sum of savings that came up through better sourcing, finding more quotations, and negotiate.
Absolutely. I'm totally on board with it because ourselves, we managed to save. Imagine saving $1 of production cost for one product. That's like a huge saving over a 1 year period of time. We're looking at 5-6 figures in savings, money that can go, stay in your pocket instead of giving it to the manufacturers. So but that's something people can do, but not a lot of people know this. But nevertheless, thank you for sharing that, Sebastian. And now let's dive into what you have prepared, because I'm sure you have something cooked in the oven there. So,
Well, we've actually done right before the meeting. I said, hey, you know what? Why don't I share a slide as well? But I only have it in German, so I quickly translated it in English. And I mean, if you want to, I can, of course, share it, and we click through, and I show you a few ways what are potentials, and put this also into numbers of how much you can save and increase your profit margin. Shall I?
Just share it, and I will bring it up here for everyone to see it, and we can go through it, especially that is in English. My German is bad. I know that just a little bit of German, but still for us Europeans, it's easier to tap into German, but I'm not sure about the people abroad, how they feel about that.
Yeah. I mean, we're taking an assumption, first of all. I mean, the numbers count the same percentages, the same ways, also if it's less revenue that you're making. But let's just assume you're making, for example, $1 million per year right now. Again, if it's 100,000 per year, the same numbers. Important thing is here is about decreasing the profit. Now, I've been quite negative. I do understand, of course, as well, a profitability of 10%. But I can tell you that some of our 9 or even 10-figure sellers, our clients, they some of them really have like below 10% actually. If you're very, very lucky, I guess you can agree that in today's world, after PPC and everything, if getting a 20% margin profitability, that will be fantastic.
Everyone's hoping for that, but actually somewhere between 10 and 15. That's the best case.
Correct. So just for the easier way of calculating, I just took a 10%, added up or down. I mean, if it's 20% profitability, you just half, of course, the profit or the percentages that we would get in here. But I think we'll still easily hit the 30%. Now, what you said earlier, there's this one case when you say, what if it means like for $1 per your product that you would save $1 literally, and that's the well, I go into the numbers in just a second. That is actually a real case that we have with one client where it was exactly $1. This guy, he's not even selling on Amazon. A German group of 3 or 4 or so it was. They really know online marketing well, and they sold inside in the US products worth $30 million in a year. Now, the purchasing cost back then, and their target was, I think, going to about like $60 million a year, which is fantastic if you really know marketing and you don't need Amazon for that, making it so profitable. And we managed. The problem there was when you go, for example, into China, or they sourced it from China, selling it in the US was 27% import tariffs, anti-dumping taxes against Chinese goods. And the product originally was $6. We went in, it was a super lucky shot. I mean, it was only 3 hours of work. Again, I'm quite sure this is never going to happen again because it was way too fast. But we found a new supplier in Vietnam, literally $1 cheaper. And here comes the major advantage that from Vietnam, the same product had 0% import tariffs. So one of the big things to learn for anybody who's selling products already and sourcing, for example, from China, again, China is still a great country. We do a lot of sourcing there. But if you are hit with anti-dumping tariffs, and if you do your import papers and declarations and everything correct, consider also, could that product come from a different country? Because it's not a product that's being anti-dumping tariffed. It's a product from a specific country that is anti-dumping import tariffed. And here, of course, the case is China. So again, we went into Vietnam, found a new producer, even $1 cheaper and 0% import tariffs. Now, with those numbers that guy has, or those guys have, I mean, insane, of course. but they had 500,000 units of product number 1 sold in 1 year.
Oh, that's
$1
huge.
cheaper. That is $500,000 just saved on the production cost. $500,000 by switching to a new supplier. That's clean profit. Now the other advantage here came. It was originally was $6. $6 times 500,000 units is $3 million. 20 purchasing cost. 27% import tariffs. That's $810,000 they left at the US border to import the goods. We killed those 27% down to 0% by finding the same product, same or better quality. Should always be the target for you as well if you change the supplier.
Yeah.
To 0. So in sum, he saves $1.31 million per year on one single product. We went in with all of the other 8 products they had as well. So in total, I think it was 8 or 9 products, and he's saving now $14 million per year savings. Clean profit. He doesn't sell a single unit more, but has $14 million more per year.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing.
It is. Now, and when we say, for example, here in this calculation, if you have like $1 million revenue, let's assume you have like 20% spendings on it. You maybe, you buy for whatever $2 and sell it for 10. You would have a purchasing cost of, let's say, roughly $200,000 in a year. And if you only save 10%, and quite often, like with this guy, it was, how much is 1 out of 6? It must be like somewhere 15%. Am I correct?
Probably, yeah.
We have some other products where we save 12%, 20%. Our record right now is 96.5% savings on a product, because that guy, or it's, he speaks openly and honestly about it. Dennis Luth in Germany, $13 million seller a year, bought a product through a trading company inside Europe. It was, I think, originally €4.80, so roughly about $5. We reduced it with a mold in China to 21 cents.
Wow, that's
and the second product, to be also openly honestly, I think it was luck on our side. It was not intended. I think this luckily happened by the producer taking the second product that we have, putting it into the same mold, and not asking for an additional price. So he said, ladies, shh. So the second product he gets for free, and that was $1 or €1.20 or so in the beginning. Now he gets it for 0. This is a gold mine, right? But he now only sells it for like 5,000 times a year. But it was $6 reduced to 21 cents, and that's I think in total like 96.5%. The second product was 100% cost reduction. That is mind blowing. But
you see, a lot of people focus, and this is, sorry to interrupt, Sebastian, but this is enlightening. A lot of people only focus on the marketing in actual sales. But they go through the process, they find the product, and then they just the whole attention is always on the actual sales. And I until last year, I find myself in the same situation, because this is not strange to me, because this is what we are. You source the product, you have a good product, then you try to market it and sell the most out of it. But what you're saying right now, and going back to the basics, like the Buddha, right? Going back to the basics and reevaluating your product, finding a better supplier, or maybe looking into your expenses, this should be a continual effort. So I love it. I love it, Sebastian. Yeah.
That is what we call resourcing. So take your bestsellers and ask the question, is it possible to maybe buy it for cheaper? And what does that mean? If you save 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, $1, $2 or $5 on a product, depending on what the purchasing costs are. Yeah. Now, just like you say, everybody says like, oh, I want to make more money. So what do? Well, launch more products. Yes, do that. But please, either you do the sourcing, of course, on your own, or hire us or another sourcing company. But the important lesson here, I think, is take somebody in your company who says you have the target to look at what are our bestsellers, what are our purchasing costs, and first of all, just calculate what would it mean if we would save 10%. Sometimes it may be only 5% or 6% or 8% savings, but sometimes it can be 20 or 30% savings, or faster shipment or better payment terms, and all of those things. And if you look at this here, if we just think about 10% savings out of your 200,000 order, it would be $20,000. Having $20,000 would be nice. Additionally, I guess for a lot of people, and that would be on 100K profit if you make it at the moment, 20% increase. A simple thing, a small step.
Yeah. It's very straightforward, and I love it. So always look into the numbers. You have to take control of the business. That's
Yes.
the whole thing about it. And yeah, having a good partner like Zignify, and I don't want to pitch here, but actually, yeah, I love it. Is the best way forward. Simple. Yeah.
So please keep your thinking of launch more products, bring more. By the way, I'm a guy, I read a lot. One of the greatest books I think for this topic is also Content Inc., where it's about the idea of having, once you've built an audience, once you know what your audience wants, all you have to do is listen to them and say, guys, what else do you want? So
Mhm.
think, what else would would your same audience spend money on? What else do they need? And if you have great communication already with your clients, I mean, you may even ask them questions or make polls or find out, like, okay, so like, for example, our first brand, we also have 2 own brands. So with the first brand, I started 10 years ago. It was much easier selling, of course, on Amazon than it's today. But I did a stupid mistake, or I thought, hey, I love slim wallets. So I brought out 7 different versions of slim wallets. Which client would buy 7 wallets? They need one. I buy them, I sell them umbrellas or packing cubes or backpacks or anything else they would need. And that would have, of course, increased the sales even more.
Yeah. Well,
Second point. Yeah.
what you just mentioned is actually good branding. So going into a niche and trying to find what your client avatar is interested in. So you start with the product, everyone starts with the product, and then try to diversify within the same niche. Like for example, in yoga, you're selling a yoga mat, then go with a yoga roller, yoga ball, yoga whatever, everything that particular client can use, because you already know the niche, you know what to sell to that client. So yeah,
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
right. What is the second point? Oh, go ahead.
This one, reimbursements. I'm still
Oh,
shocked how many people don't know about reimbursements. I mean, I believe the larger sellers here, of course, do know that Amazon destroys products. Amazon loses products, or let's say not destroys, Amazon damages products, of course, on
yeah,
accident. Amazon may not find your products when you ship them in. Amazon loses them in the transfer from fulfillment center to fulfillment center. Amazon or some clients ship products back which are not really the terms and of conditions, or that the product could still be charged, and you the client gets the money back. So there's a lot of work you could do, but here goes out. I mean, there's also several offers out there, people who can help getting you all of those failures back. And do me the favor, don't even think about starting this on your own, because opening all the cases, if there's softwares available, yes, of course they cost some money, but let me show you an example here. Getida, good partner of ours, good partner of yours as well, guys.
definitely.
Um,
The
Getida,
one of the
puts
best
out,
in the industry.
yeah, those are the OGs. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what they, or as far as I can see, I mean, they're the longest in the market. That's their main business. They focus, of course, and for sure, again, there are also other very, very good ones out there, no doubt. And maybe you can also combine them together. But we're just quite close with Getida. So we see them on every trade show. We see they do the same thing over and over again. We see they succeed with it. And I mean, they're also very, very lovely people.
absolutely.
Here, shout out to Yoni, to Eitan. Guys, you guys are, yeah, we like you.
Definitely.
um, and what you have here is, or what they usually say is, like, if you think about this, it's like, we'll get you back 1 to 3% annual revenue. And the first time I thought about this, like, 1.3%, is it really actually worth, like adjusting a software, clicking it, making this work? But then when you think about it, if you're $1 million seller, 1%, 1 to 3% of your annual revenue, that's $10,000 to $30,000. And then you start thinking, it's like, $10,000 to $30,000. Maybe that's worth investing an hour. An hour of work, getting $10,000 to $30,000 back. Okay.
Mm.
So now put this on your profit. You don't have 100, you have 110 to 130. That's 10 to 30% increase by activating a software. Whereas, like, that's not a lot. I mean, this is not a lot of effort for really getting something back. And I just looked the last time into my own that I run for the first brand. I've just seen Getida get me back like $3,300. Whereas, like, cool, I didn't need to do anything. I just got it back. And of course, they charge some percentage then. But the cool thing here is they only charge, for example, when they have been successful. So
Yeah,
I do see and hear a lot of them. It's like, oh, but then they get money for this. Yeah, but will you do the work?
of
Will you
course.
pay somebody?
You
Um,
invest money or time, so why not? It's your
To me,
time,
an
or yeah,
absolute no-brainer. What we have here is, we can share this later. We can also write it in there again. This is, by the way, a code I think that not many people have in the world, where we get a lot of discounts, a lot of bonuses for our clients from other software service providers. The same as we can, when we come from us to intelliRANK gives you a bonus just because you come from Zignify. We all want to, of
definitely.
course, help each other.
Yeah. So yeah,
And with this code, you just click on there, you sign up, you even get the first $1,000 for free back. Gedida will not even charge anything. They'll make sure to get you the first $1,000, and only then they would start charging.
yeah,
And again, I think for the charging, depending on how large you are, you don't want to employ a person to open 100 seller support cases and then look into getting all the negotiations. Oh, but it is right, so please do it. So hey, escalate this case. A no-brainer for me. There is also a code, I think only 2 people in the world have it. That's a $2,000 discount, where the first $2,000 will be reimbursed. But this one, I'm only allowed to give it out to bigger sellers, I think $1 to $3 million upwards. If you want that code, contact me, show me whatever the business, and then I can send you the $2,000 discount code. And no, it's not Zignify 2000. That's it's a little
yeah.
bit more secret.
Yeah, this is very powerful. And yeah, it's very important for everyone to understand that Amazon is not focused on let's say, the accuracy of their shippings and inventory management and everything. They're very, very well focused on speed. Imagine Q4 coming up. In Q4, Amazon is all about speed, delivery. Everything is about that. So when they do that, they leave room for mistake. But it's, they allow us to come back to Amazon through Getida, through other good providers like Getida, that can help you and get back on the inventory that they have damaged, lost, or misplaced.
Yeah.
Or they can find it. Maybe they put it somewhere and they see, oh, there it is, Sebastian's units, here they are. But at the end of the day, it's about, this is like a great service. It's like set and forget. So once you set it up, you don't have to worry about this bit. And also I've heard the news that everything is changing. So until now, you had like 18 months to look back. So if you're new into this and you've been selling for, let's say, 2 years, you can get back 18 months of, Getida can look back 18 months, but now this is changing. So you'll have like a lesser time to look into that. I don't recall exactly what it is. So yeah.
By the way, depending on different reasons for why money should get back, sometimes there are different timings in there when you can look back at that. And one of the stories I've just read, I don't know who published it or how much of that is true, but I thought to myself, like, yeah, that could be. I mean, maybe it's written by Getida, so I assume it is true. That some of the softwares that come out right now, they actually charge you money for things where Amazon would automatically get you the reimbursement. So they jump in earlier to claim it and then say, oh, look, we claimed it for you and we get percentage for there. Where things like, guys, Amazon would do that automatically for us. So please don't cheat us on that. Just getting the money back quicker, unless it's worth it. I don't know. But I think this came actually out by Getida. So careful also with their, again, if there's a company who does only that, like we do only sourcing and price and cost optimization, maybe it could be useful to believe that they wouldn't necessarily trick you on things where Amazon pays you back automatically anyhow.
Maybe I'm thinking here, Sebastian, I don't think people are trying to build a business on tricking people, but nevertheless, I don't know. Nevertheless, a big shout out to Getida here, because they're the old OGs in the industry, and we love them. So
I mean, maybe not that they're trying to build business on tricking, but maybe they also don't yet know that some of the claims people would get money back automatically, and they would not necessarily be really rightful for claiming money for doing such things. Maybe they also made a mistake to happen as well.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason is, but at the end of the day, if, let's say, normally what Getida at least is doing, so if they're charging for an inventory and they find it and they charge you for that, they get your money back and they charge you. Later on, if Amazon finds it or whatever happens, they will give you that back as credit. So it's a matter of about being fair with this. So I'm sure that all the tools out there should look into the fairness of this and not try to scam people, because we're in this together. And I love what Stephen Pope said, and I relate to that. It's not me against you, it's all of us against Amazon, more or
Yes,
less.
absolutely. I've seen that one as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. And then,
So
by
yeah,
the way, we talk here, guys, about against Amazon. One of the, I think, big. I don't know if it's profit way in general. One of the thinkings I've seen so much over the last years is that we're Amazon sellers, guys. If we want to build brands, let's not be Amazon sellers. Let's be brand owners, like with our own the cosmetics brand, our anti-theft brand, and all of those things. Amazon is just one channel.
yeah,
It's a big channel. It's a lot of selling there, but let's not be Amazon sellers. Let's be brand builders. I got my own products, the first brand, in more than 1,000 big box retail stores in Germany, and that was more fun than Amazon. And I'm selling it over different channels and also to different business models where it's much more profitable than on Amazon. Maybe smaller amounts, but this is also the fun. And yes, here, Stephen, go ahead. I mean, us against Amazon, right?
yeah,
But let's open up as well to say there's also different markets and different ways to sell it. Think about it.
yeah. Always. All
A
right.
mistake I'm making myself, and I've made myself over the last 10 years a lot, is that my PPC is, of course, not running optimally, that I'm spending way too much money on bad keywords, that I'm spending way too much money on bad products, or that I even have too high bids for even the main good keywords. And you're thinking about, it's like, geez, what we're wasting and so much money on there. One of the ways, if, for example, and I have to admit, some of my products, they have 60-70% ACOS. Some of them, depending on the time, especially when it's a better product or the rating falls down to 4 stars, I sometimes have an ACOS of like 200%. I was like, oh, fuck, that hurts. The reason here, of course, when we see, and I would guess that a lot of people may have a 40% ACOS. If you break it down, 50% organic, 50% PPC, you may have a 20% TACOS. What if we could reduce this, for example, to 30% ACOS and 15% TACOS, which may still be too high, of course, but depending on how competitive your niche is, this may be the case. I guess you agree, Marcel, right?
Depends on the niche. Yeah, definitely. Because but this is an example, and I'm following up so far.
Or the same thing would be, if we have a 20% ACOS and we could reduce it to 15 or 10% ACOS and then have it hopefully a 10 or 5% TACOS, that would be fantastic. I love that. I don't get this done with my own friends.
It's there on the radar. Of course, everyone should watch their PPC costs because of the end of the day, again, we're feeding money into Amazon, into the PPC. So it's a matter of watching the ACOS. Depending on, for example, if your margin is hopefully your margin is, let's say, at 40 or 50%, so you can go with a 30% ACOS. But if your margin is at 30%, your product is not so good, and I've seen this a lot, then you want to stay below that 30%, even though it's not.
Again, I admit it. I'm not using any softwares in here. I tried something before, it didn't really work. I tried some agencies before, it didn't really work. Or they didn't get better results. But first brand for me is like extremely competitive and low prices. So there's like, everybody says, nope, we can't get it lower. But now if we say for such example, you may have some products that are really like that bad, and you may have some products that are not so bad. But when you put this now into numbers, and let's say, for example, we have a 20% TACOS, and at $1 million, it would be like $200,000 spending just on ads. What if we reduce this to 15%? It's like 150K. That's 50K difference in money spent over a year, which very often, here the reason for me is being too lazy, not wanting to look into it, not having somebody hired, or not having set up a software that actually does work, whether it's a black box or not, but that somehow reduces your spendings. And look at that, a 50K additional out of 100K originally is another 50% increase. And that's if we're negative or if we're pessimistic here right now. If we're saying, for example, we would have a 20% here, 10% there, maybe also only a 20%, but then we already have like 50% increase of our profit originally.
Yeah, that's huge. Actually, so far, it's a huge improvement. So it's about the details actually, and looking into the details, taking over, running the business, and not just going with the flow and spending your time into different other areas that maybe do not require your attention so much. It's always the finance department that's keeping your business floating.
Yep.
Yeah. Very good so
Absolutely.
far, Sebastian. Very good insights. Love it. Yeah.
Thank you. We have two more. Let me try to rush through. This, of course, I mean, the FBA costs. And now, can you see my camera large enough right now?
I can put you on screen, so no worries.
Okay.
All right. So I remove the
Show you something
sharing.
about my own products. Like one of the ones that we have is like your camera covers for smartphones. Super tiny products. My suggestion doesn't make sense to go in there anymore. Too many Chinese, of course, and underbidding the prices and whatever it is. But if you see, the products are super small, right? Now, you may still be very, very jealous when I say I had a master carton like this size, and I was fitting 250 units into one into one master carton already. So very often for my first brand, I don't care about air shipping. It's so many products in such a small box. I sometimes order too late myself, or don't look into this because all the focus goes, of course, on Zignify. And still, then I was thinking to myself, like, that's pretty neat. It's pretty nice. I'm putting all my products also in big box retail, or like the British called high street stores. And one of my first targets is, hint, by the way, colored envelopes. If you do FBM, that's pretty cool for clients when they open their mailbox and see a blue envelope, unless it's like a resignation or a firing letter, depending on what color this has in your country. It may be not the blue one, but it may be the pink letter. But I always target to put my products, like in the smallest envelopes possible. Because if I do FBM and I know the postal service fees, I'm trying to make it in the cheapest way. Because would I have it, come here, in a larger letter, of course, this would be a lot more expensive, right? So if that one costs like $1 or so, and this I think $1.60, or in euros roughly around there, that's a 60% increase on just the shipping cost. Whereas like, why should I spend 60 cents extra on shipping if it fits in there? And now we go a step even further. It's like, you may be jealous, of course, if this is my product and that's small and that weighs about 12 or 14 grams, which is about half a US flooded ounce, and in this small size. I said, I don't like the shipping cost, the air shipping for 12 boxes. It was like 3,200 units or so. And I said, you know what? How about we optimize it and put it in the size of a condom wrapper? That's the shipping cost, and the final cost over here may not be really, when it goes to the end customer, may not be really big. But if I compare this now here, and that whole thing doesn't weigh 12 or 14 grams, half an ounce anymore. Now it's 1.5 grams, which is, I don't know, little, like maybe 5% of an ounce. Am I correct there right now, or less? It's super light. But now in the same box that I had, okay, a little bit larger, but it's one box air shipping, and I fit 3,200 products in one single master carton, and it's a small master carton. Now, think not only about the FBA cost, but think about the international shipping, even especially if you do air shipping, or sea as well, or train. That is massive reduction, of course, in weight and in volume, and then as well in your storage, in your FBA costs, in your local warehouse. Now I need one shelf, what's the English word? Not one shelf,
Square inch, because
like a box in a shelf. I'm missing the English word right now. Sorry. And I don't need a full pallet anymore. Then now I have like $2 cost per month, or $3, instead of $8 for a pallet. So of course, tiny as an example, but that makes big differences in the end then as well. And if I show you what I would like to give you here as an example, just imagine if you have $1, $1 million revenue at 20%, a $20 average rate, would, for example, mean you have like a $20 average cart value or product cost. It's about like 50,000 orders, or turn it the other way around. If you sell for $50 your product on average, it would be 20,000 orders, right? So what would that mean if you save $1 per order? That'd be $50,000 savings in the FBA shipping cost if you can reduce it by $1, or 20%. Still something very nice. And now let me see if this hopefully works with switching over to a PDF. Can you see the full multi-channel fulfillment Amazon fees?
You can share again because you closed the sharing. No worries.
Yeah. Okay. So
Sharing.
where do I stop? Where do I stop the sharing?
You did already, so you just need to present again. So I can bring you up.
Yeah, I need to find you again.
How
I'm in
this
there
is
right now.
optimizing the actual box of the product or looking into the actual dimensions is incredibly valuable to any Amazon seller. So this is a great example, Sebastian. Yeah, and it's
Now,
a
for me,
matter of details again. Yeah,
do you
there we
see
go.
a PDF
Yeah,
right now? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Just look for the FBA rate card or the MCF, the multi-channel fulfillment rate card. I have an example here of the UK, right? Now
Mhm.
you will see within Amazon, of course, the rates and the sizes. Can you still see me right now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're small, but yeah, we can also see the. You want to go on full screen? Yeah.
I have a basic or it's like a tool that usually the postal services in Germany only have, but this is great for explanation. I use it myself very often to measure. Now, this is like the slots that they're using for what is the size of a product, where does it fit in, and what does it then cost, by the size of a packaging or an envelope. So this large one, would fit in here. So that's the smallest one, unless it gets thicker and it would need to go through here. Of course, I can't charge the smaller ones. But this is the example that the FBA cards then would also use. Or like you imagine you look at your product, let's say it's like this large, and imagine it's just a little bit too large to go through this one. Why wouldn't I focus on reducing it to the next smaller level? And when you check out your FBA, the multi-channel rate cards, go away from the MCF, not the MCF, not the MCF. I think it's gonna when it's turning yellow here. That's the FBA fulfillment fees, and we just take one example. Look, this would be like Germany or fulfillment with the pan-European network. You have the small envelopes, the standard, the largest, and the extra large ones. And if we
Mhm.
would be saying, for example, maybe right now it's the product is, I don't know, 6 centimeters high, but we would actually get down to 2.5. So this is like a 2.5 inch or so, I think, down to 1 inch. What if you could reduce the size and you don't ship air? So shipping air means, like wasted space, empty boxes. Why not reducing the the product
The
packaging? And that's
size. Mhm.
something we do a lot for our clients in sourcing. I mean, we do the whole product design, product packaging, development, finding packaging producers, and of course, reducing the sizes. Or if we would say now, for example, maybe you had, let's not look into over sizes, but let's say you can reduce it from a standard parcel to a small parcel. And we would say, let me find a good way, what could be, but I think it's usually which this one goes up to 3.9 kg, and here's 3.9 kg. So it would be, I think in this one was 6.81, and down here 6.23. So roughly it's usually about 50 to 60 cents or so
60 cents. Yeah. Mhm.
that you can reduce. But now think a step further. What if you don't need a parcel, but it can be shipped in an envelope? So we even going from small parcel, let's say like I don't know, 400 grams or so, 300 in here for 358. We go to a standard envelope, and it's 265. And this is now
90
93,
cents. Yeah.
97.
Yeah.
I think 97 cents or so. I mean, this is close to $1 per end customer shipment. And here we come back to, and our question is, so even if it's 50 cents saved in there, you would have $25,000 saved. Or if it was then $50, it would be 25, 50 cents. That would be, no, I lost it myself. I think it would be 10,000. Where am I? 50 cents. Yeah, it would be
Still,
10,000.
it's a lot.
It's a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot of money. It's a nice vacation.
Absolutely.
Or
In
more
the
product
Maldives.
in the Maldives. Alone, maybe not with a team of 14 or 16 or
Definitely.
not alone. That would be very luxurious one alone.
Yeah.
Look at this, and if we say, I mean, let's just assume we have 20% here, right? And maybe even in the PPC cost, we have another 20%. Here we have maybe negatively 10%, and maybe here 20%. I mean, believe me, you can very, very often save more than 10%. Or even if it's just 10% savings, we have a 20, 10, 30, another 70. Here we're at 90% already.
Yeah.
Or
It's
if we go
huge.
full in, there's so much to optimize. And one of the things, I think one of the biggest ones is, if I look at my first brand, I have in total with all the children like 60 or 70 products. And many of them are just, they're not selling anymore. My slim wallets, to be honest, they're not so great anymore. There are better sellers out there. Did I continue to develop them? Nope, I didn't. I still have the same old ones. I still have some in stock. Sometimes they sell, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I put PPC on there. It ends up at 280% ACoS. And I was like, damn, I'm just losing a little bit of money here. And all the profit that the good sellers are making are like reinvesting are financing my margin killers. Yes, especially I think in the very beginning when you say, hey, you know what, I'm building my own brand and those are my babies. You should never kill human babies. But if it's product babies that really don't work and they just eat your money and it hurts, it does hurt a lot, but close your eyes and pull the trigger. Kill that thing. Get it out of stock. Get it, in worst case, have a nice bonfire in the backyard. If it's really if it's cheaper, then keeping them in stock, in storage, paying PPC on there. And that would be, look at your products that have 60 or 80% ACoS usually, or 100%, or even if it's sometimes like, 40 or 50%, is it worth it? And what would that mean if we would increase and help, not increase, but decrease the TACoS about by another 5% or 10%? Could that be another 50 to 100,000 profit? What if, keep your 20%. What are the 20% of the products that make 80% of the revenue and or 80% of your profit?
Like the Pareto principle, yeah. Usually 20% of the...
That's what I wanted to... I was looking for the word.
20% of the actual products produce 80% of the results. But yeah.
Correct. And why not focus more on them? Of course, you need to run 100% of the products to find out what are the 20% good ones. Yeah. And once you do this, another hint, I think this is a great way when you do advertising on Google. I have to admit, I didn't put this out there myself yet. We never ran Google ads for Zignify, never really for the products yet, but I love the logic behind there. Need to implement it. Is that when you run, for example, Google ads, create 5 of them, put them out there, and whatever, if you like them or not, the worm when fishing has to be tasty for the fish, not for the fisherman. So whatever you think, maybe a great tasting worm, maybe the fish doesn't like it. Let the fish decide what he bites on. And then you keep your 5 ads running. And what you do then the next step is, well, keep the bestseller or keep the best performing ad. And try to kill all the other 4 ones, unless they're equally good. Create 4 more, like your first top ad version. And then do the same result again. Keep the bestseller of that. You do this 5 times and you have 5 great performing ads out of 25 originally. And here we come again. It's the 20%.
Yeah. I love
so
that analogy.
Yeah.
The worm doesn't have to be tasty for the fisherman.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Unfortunately, we always go we start like that as Amazon sellers. We start by looking ourselves into the product and trying to love it and making it how we love it. But it's always about the customers, not about
yes. Kill the margin killers of bad products. Yes, it hurts, but you know what?
Cut the loss.
I have some wooden slim wallets. I was about to literally take them to the backyard. We bought ourselves a house. I wanted to have a little bonfire until a lucky shot from the side came, external traffic. Somebody promoted the wallet out of the blue. I didn't expect anything. And bam, it went. And I was like, okay. So 500 products that I wanted to burn in the backyard, or I think I had like 700 still in stock. 500 of them sold in 3 days. Where I was like, wow, what a lucky day.
There you go.
But the other 200s will have a nice bonfire. It's just, it's useless. And the same is with the keywords. Many times it's us as humans always thinking of, hey, keywords, super, super important, and that one is relevant, and, kill margin killers in what products are eating too much of your PPC and which keywords are maybe the ones that are eating the margin of the performing ones. It hurts. It's painful. But I guess, we're here to make money, right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sebastian. This really has been insightful, and I really love your approach. So everyone should definitely rewatch this, because I will definitely rewatch it. Let me know if you have something for the audience here, how they can reach out. I see the QR code behind you, but yeah.
Yes, I think one of the things is not reach out to us. I mean, of course, for sourcing, resourcing,
Definitely.
saving products, optimizing your packaging to get to the smaller FBA groups. We have, of course, those rate cards for the different countries. But you go to this way it shows. Go to intelliRANK as well, and please do me the favor. I mean, why not? They have some good ideas of not necessarily only asking for reviews, but helping your product creating a sales demand, of creating sales velocity by getting buyers to buy. And I think you only need this, my guess, mostly initially. But if that helps to kickstart really your product, I mean, those guys over there, we like them as well as we do, Getida. I know there was a lot of, I think Getida should pay us. Hey, Yoni!
We need to ask them for a check, yeah.
We
or at
see
least for a beer.
At least for a beer, I guess. Exactly.
Yeah.
But we see, intelliRANK, we see you guys in all those trade shows as well. We've become friends by now as well. If we all can help each other with our own brands of products, with helping sellers together. I mean, there's so many nice strategies on Amazon as well, off Amazon, to help build a brand. And there is many things you do need to. I like the American approach very often a lot more than the German approach, where I usually say is when the Americans, this may be a praise to you guys out there, you see a chance, you look at this and you think, that's worth spending money on. Let's give it a try. Bam, here. Where do I sign? Take my money. And just go for it. Whereas Germans, on the other hand, we're always like, yeah, but maybe that works, maybe it doesn't, and then very shy of giving out tries. Yes, everybody will fail. Yes, things will not work. But I mean, I guess with you as well, with intelliRANK, right? The more you fail, the faster you fail, the more mistakes you make, the faster you learn of what works.
Experience, exactly.
Yes. And you gotta make mistakes, because nobody will send you a book and it's like, hey, Marcel, here, that's the secret for your business. Go.
Building a good mindset. This is very healthy. Like as opposing to in school, you don't know, sit down, you get a neck, whatever. It's the American way, or in our size, in Europe is 4 to 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a different approach. Yeah. But nevertheless, mindset, always invest in yourself. This is like the best tip I can give to everyone. Evolve, because the business will evolve and be as developed as we are as the owners of the business. It's always like that. All right.
Yes.
Sebastian, thank you. Thank you for this insightful conversation. And I'll make sure to add more details in here in the description, and for people to reach out to intelliRANK or to Zignify, depends what need they have. And looking forward to bringing up more content soon, hopefully. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Marcel, for having me. And nice weekend to all of you ahead.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Take care.